alley by the law.
Yeah.
Next to it, it's that back alley.
Just want to show you this.
Well, they can
I never put any now.
Those raised tonight, Rusty. What'd you do?
Filming.
They can do that, you know, I saw that sidewalk, that coordinate. That, they live in there, the one after the post office, yeah, in the back. He lives out back. Well, they poured the concrete out in front of Ray's today. I don't. And,
He says a
and
lot of these.
Mr. Blake Hunt is supposed to finish the rest. I know they were working. The sidewalk.
Yeah.
Pretty well, it's close to 6. It's been about 5:50 the last couple of days.
I saw the you gotta, as a commission, stay on.
Now I'm put in the post office and I was like, oh, Rusty's car. And I'm like, no,
I said,
I come around, I wave at him, because they've been gone for 3 days. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, checking the mail. No, he's like, did I get my paycheck? I said, no. See ya.
Much before the first year here, I should set the time.
Not me then.
That's kind of shit. She did it in like 3 months. That's when she knows the next letter.
Yeah, that was.
Tonight we're not doing the hotel booking.
Oh, we're ready to
Oh,
go.
homework already. I don't give it back.
And I did get a hold of John. So,
Not
you know.
really.
Hey,
That's. You didn't get at it. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
His email
Need to
response.
approve, return things when you borrow them.
You know, the question is.
It really is better than.
I've had a lot of compliments and I always.
I still fix my house changes. Spend a money, Rusty. Get in the floor.
We couldn't just keep joining. Yeah.
We never had all the time.
I know what that's in there.
I think that's right. Yeah.
So we're not. They've missed the guidelines. Get you almost a full.
Well, but I was just like, yeah, but I actually thought you put in there and thought it was 2 different things.
And
I'm tired already.
Yeah, I had to get them all. It's not always that. That's all, that's all.
Can't they like?
They don't get away.
My dad given Bill. The Red Chinese Army. When they keep going, I like them to taste it. It takes away.
Because they won.
I don't get hard. I don't remember this, but you know, Red
In the
Chinese.
county,
Maybe they did. Like you and the notice, Western Ralph.
So we don't go in there,
Ralph will go.
say a number and look it back again. Somebody that's gonna give us the count.
He's in World War I, and he got on a cruise ship.
Everything goes over there. Oh, really?
Sign down, turn around and come back.
I don't.
And he just gave up.
You said, no, no, we're having tax day. They're mad.
Yeah.
They haven't asked for us,
It's right here. It wasn't. It's been warm. Trees and budded.
Oh,
yeah. I had talked to Chuck the other day and he said the staff was pretty different. Was pretty
When I was a kid,
the group get bids on plans.
see the supervisors and.
Program for native prairie.
He had 24 trees tapped, so he was getting quite a bit of.
They're not gonna bid on
time.
planning.
3 to
They're
2
gonna
vote,
bid on
give themselves a pay raise, and now they make $144,000 more than the governor of Iowa. 2 of them voted no, because their constituents.
More money.
Yes, she makes 130.
They make 140.
144.
As a super.
Yes. And then, 2 of them voted no, because they said voters wouldn't appreciate it.
All righty, let's call this meeting in order. I'd like to welcome everybody tonight. First thing tonight is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Chairman?
Second.
Earl,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer, yes.
Zach?
You will hear from me plenty later. But I do want to thank the city guys today. Had a pretty nasty crash on the 4 lanes up by Jay's, and they helped me with some traffic and things of that nature. So didn't have to help, but they stepped right up. Fire department too. So took quite a few guys to get her cleaned up. So.
Thank you. Okay. Jeff here, is anybody giving Jeff's response tonight?
He was on a transfer to Des Moines, which I did not call it.
Okay. Mutual Center, no update. You know, she's gonna go ahead and set the record before we can get home anyway, so you know. Main Street,
Okay, well,
you got one now?
I haven't been here for a while, so I have to be a little bit of it. So our investment drives, we are almost complete. We have about a month left. We have seen an increase of about $3,600 from same investors in 2023. That's really good. In 2024, we have raised about $4,500 from brand new investors. So that's people that haven't invested with us in the past. We also added to the investment drive Friends of the program. That's something that the organization committee worked on this year, which is focused more on community member support as well as the business support. We have a ribbon cutting set for this Saturday at 10 a.m. for 7 & Co. So if anybody wants to join us in welcoming a new business, that would be great. And our farmers market dates are officially set and we have our opening date ready. So I think there'll be a pretty good celebration. So,
Yes, thank you. John, you on the phone? DC tonight, okay. Okay. Consent agenda,
Jake,
Yes.
Jennifer, Earl,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
authorize the mayor to sign HPC annual report.
and I think Diane's got a presentation.
Hi, well, I know, and I don't usually keep these short, but I promised to tonight, so, thank you for having me tonight. Just some highlights from this last year with the Historic Preservation Commission. We, granted guidance for and awarded certificates of appropriateness to 14 projects in the district. That's actually the same number as the previous year. If you remember last year, that was a 500% increase, so we're holding steady now. We will have some May Preservation Month activities coming up, delivering our annual letter, We had a Preservation 101 workshop last June where Molly Myers-Nauman, a historic preservation expert and speaker came and presented. We had 13 attendees. That was really a successful endeavor for us. Our big thing that we did this last year was the design guidelines. I know everybody's just waiting on pins and needles. When is this thing gonna happen? I am happy to say that today, hot off the press, I have the sample copy. So, yay. We should have these probably within the next week, and then we can actually distribute them to all of the businesses. So this has been a 2-year for not just the commission, but Main Street, and we had a committee that was, or a subcommittee that was comprised of other building owners and stakeholders in the community. So it was a large effort, and thank you so much to the city council for your support to actually get this thing done.
What does it contain? What kind of information? Brief, but
Yes, so the design guidelines, briefly, it is a way that building owners in the district or business owners in the historic district, this will become kind of their guide.
roadmap, yeah.
Yes, roadmap for
I see you have some pictures in there, the way to do
all
things and so on and
sorts
so
of
forth.
pictures.
Okay.
do's and don'ts. Yeah, the guidelines.
Sounds like stuff that a common guy like me can understand.
Hopefully so, yeah, that was one of our goals, so, excited for that. I have the report ready to send to Chabot, report for the CLG annual report that I think was presented to you. I'll just put the signature in and should be able to get that sent off. I did notice that the work plan, I totally forgot to update the, $25,000 is not actually in the budget request for the design guidelines this year, so sorry about that. I will send an updated work plan, but you guys kind of know our budget request anyway, so if that threw you off at all, sorry. Do you have any questions I can answer?
We have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the report.
Second,
Jennifer? Yes. Earl?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Don?
yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Approved plans and specs for the north/west sidewalk project.
So, let me start.
Oh, yeah. go ahead.
I was just gonna say, in your packet should be the proposed sidewalk improvements for the north and the west side for the grant that we're waiting to hear if we're going to get. And Matt Walker's here from Prince Reniker in case you guys have any questions. And if you have any questions that you need answered.
I think I'm good. I guess to point out a couple of the details. We're currently calling for the public hearing to happen at your next council meeting, which is March 14th. The bids would be due March 26th at 3 p.m. and that's a Tuesday afternoon. Then we would have the council consider those bids at your regular scheduled meeting on the 28th. Funds you're using for the project is your remaining sponsored project dollars. I'm not exactly sure. How many, Joe, do you know approximately how much that is?
The SRF funds will be about 250,000.
And the water quality initiative grant that you're applied for is $150,000. And those are announced, I believe, February 23rd. So in a couple of weeks here.
Were there any changes in this compared to the south side, or are we good to go with about exactly the same way we did the south side?
It'll be the same. The sidewalk dimensions are bigger on all three sides are different lengths. So we're going to keep the 5-foot wide terminal paver. So that would be consistent all the way around. Yes.
Question for Matt.
Move to approve plans and specs for the north/west sidewalk project.
Don?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes. Earl?
Yeah.
Jake?
Yes.
Set public hearing for March 14th, 2024 at 7 p.m. regarding requesting bids for north/west sidewalk project.
So moved. Second.
Jake?
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes. Josh?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Authorize the mayor to sign the easements for the north/west sidewalk project.
So moved.
Second,
Earl,
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes. John?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Discuss and decide on purchasing lights for the north/west side of the square.
So you should have the quote in your packet from 3E. So for the remainder, for the entire light apparatus itself with the receptacles and the banners and the banner, the banner arms and the lights, light holders,
So this bid includes everything we need to put the poles up.
except for the base, the concrete base.
Oh, yeah, okay. There's never a problem, so we can move on.
They're in the bid this time.
They're in the bid.
So we need
And is this
approval.
the same cost we were looking at about 6 months ago?
It's up, it's a little bit higher. It's about $300 higher.
That's not bad. The budget. Or this is what we
So-
planned on.
Yes and no. It's budgeted after July, but we need the approval from council to go ahead and tell them that we for sure want them. Because of the lead time, we won't be getting them till after July anyways.
He needs the PO
But-
created now
Right.
so that
Because
he can,
Next year's budget.
Yeah, and it is in the next year's budget, but we need to get your approval to create the PO before they'll order 'em.
Do we control when they arrive on site so we don't have to store them, or we plan on storing them before we use them?
they usually hold on to them.
You know, based on when they tell us we get them, I mean, we try to plan to not have to store them very long, but we also don't want to back them up and say, don't send them,
Right,
you know, and then not get them when we need them. So when they're here, Don, we'll probably find a place to store them.
okay,
We did last time as well, so
okay.
we sure hate to turn them down.
Yeah, rather have them here in storage than not have them here at
Yes,
all.
sir.
Or ones that don't match.
Yeah,
Motion to approve purchasing lights for the north and west side of the square.
second,
Earl?
Yeah.
Jake?
Yes.
Josh?
Yeah.
John?
yes,
Jennifer? Yes.
At the public hearing for March 28th, 2024
Sorry.
at 6:30 to adopt property tax levy.
Move to approve at public hearing.
Second.
Josh?
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes. Jake?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
yes.
Discuss and decide on community development monies disbursement.
Okay, in your packet, you should have a spreadsheet that says fiscal year 24 granted, how much fiscal year 25 ask is from the business, and then obviously there's a column for how much we're gonna grant them for the year. We have 120,000 set aside, in that line item that we need to decide if we're gonna disperse all of it or not disperse all of it. Or we can also plug a number into the budget not to exceed and, not distribute all of it out. You'll see in the column, Main Street's request, which I sent an email out a couple days ago with all the paperwork behind why they wanted, each business wanted how much and what they were gonna use it for, but Main Street was 60, the Nature Center's asking for 17.5, which 10,000 of that is for the capital expenditures, our half with the county. The other 7,500 is for the golf simulator they're gonna try to get approved and get installed. The Historical Society did not apply for community development funds. Instead, they just applied for hotel motel, which you guys will decide next meeting on.
Can I just make a comment there?
Yeah.
I'd rather see us do something in this side with Historical Society. Because they asked for a full 8,000 in the hotel motel. And I think if we split that up or we do theirs out of this, that leaves more in the hotel motel for somebody else. So that's just,
I'll piggyback on that because I was thinking we set aside 15,000 out of the hotel motel or something that we have to have. If
So-
we instead take the 15,000 out of here and put that 15,000 back in hotel motel, that makes the hotel motel money available to a lot more entities. We're not restrained by the three categories that we have to spend this money.
So the only restriction to the hotel motel is you have to give 50% of the funds to recreation.
Right.
So we have 50,000 available to disperse, so that will leave 25,000 for recreation.
Fine, I did.
I understand what you're saying.
I agree with
Yeah.
her. The Historic Society's asking for 8,000 over there. And we're used to giving them whatever we give them too.
Mhm.
So
Well,
we
that
should
would
give
do the
them-
same thing I mentioned, free up more money for the
Yeah, we
hotel
should.
motel people.
I don't know why they didn't ask for it down here.
Well, I'm not sure everybody understands the two different things.
Okay.
And so,
Yeah, I mean, I sent them all the same letter that we send each year, just asking, you know, here's how much you typically ask for, here's what we usually do with it. If you want it again, please submit a request. And
and the person at the Historical Society is a new person. She's not used to doing this, so.
yeah, so yeah,
Is tourism in the same boat? Did they not apply here?
they didn't apply, but they both applied for hotel
Okay.
motel.
All right.
The senior citizen increased theirs $500 to help with utilities. HPC's asking for 10,000. And then DCDC, in his packet, he said he's not sure how much to ask for. He typically gets 15,000, but the county usually gives him more than the city. So I think he's gonna leave it up to you guys how much you would like to.
Yeah, it's the same conversation I had with him.
Yeah.
I asked him for a dollar amount. He
Yeah,
gave me 2 emails of
yeah,
stuff,
same.
I called,
everything but that.
I called him and asked him, I'm like, wanted to know how much, because he said we don't give as much as the county, so I
Right.
wanted to know how much the county gives. It was 32,000 is what
Right.
the county gives.
Right.
And his story with me was that as of 2007, the city prior to that would match the county.
And I don't know if you know, he didn't tell me what it was a match back then. I only know what the county gives now.
Yeah, it's 32,000 now, but whatever it was back then, we matched what they had. And, he didn't tell me he was wanting a full match, but he just would like us to get closer to a
Well,
match than it
Obviously,
was.
he told me obviously they would love a full match, but he wasn't expecting that. That's what
Right.
he said.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, all I can tell you is, since I've been here for 4 years, that, we've increased what we've been given
Right.
each year, but we've
Yeah.
never matched the
Yeah.
county. Just because it was within the city versus the county.
Okay.
So,
So Earl, are you willing to increase on this sheet by $8,000 for historical society?
well, yeah.
It's gonna be one
basically.
talking to the
Yeah,
other,
yeah,
right?
yeah, it's there. And then when you look at DCDC and maybe I can maybe give you a little history.
Okay.
I hate to keep doing this, but back about 2007, the city hired their own economic development person.
Right.
So that's why those funds were changed. And so, at that time, and then it was never, when that person was no longer here, it wasn't given back. And so that's kind of where it was because, yeah,
Yeah,
and
he
yeah.
actually told me that same story,
Yeah.
and his explanation was the new job that the city hired this person for was a job that was not the same as what he does with DCDC. So he's just, it's apples and oranges for what he hired and what he does, but
when we do have Tammy as community development, and economic development as well.
So,
Yeah, so, if you, on your hotel motel packets that I laid there, the big thick packets that you have homework for the next couple weeks. So you have to give 25,000 to recreation, and then the other 12 can be split between tourism and economic development. Typically, we split them in half. But just to kind of give you a round number. So we do, like I said, we've increased from 58,000 in fiscal year 22 of community development funds, 110 to fiscal year 23, and 120 in the budget for last year, or this current fiscal year we're in. So, if you do 120 again, I would need to know how you would want to break that up. Either way, we have to do 10,000 in capital expenditures for the rec center because they did submit it by the deadline this year. So either way, you got that.
I'd like to see us get off the 120. Get that cut down a little bit, or you're not saving anything by the mulcher doing themselves, so. I'd like to see the council put that down to about 110 this next year. Which still allows you, because we're at 89.5, giving everybody what they ask, you still have roughly $21,000 to play with there, so.
I just took a look, if we give the 8,000 to this historical society and we give the DCDC what we've given in the past, it looks like we're at 112.5, which is close to your 110. And I agree, reducing it's probably something we need to try to do if we can. Even reducing to 10% a year for a couple of years with that.
I don't know what, I didn't have a chance to look, what is the tourism asking for? Do you know a number? Because if you don't give them the
yeah.
1,500 down here, you're
So-
basically going to say, we're gonna have to give them a little bit out of that other one, so.
So in hotel motel, they're asking for $4,651.
For what?
Oh, for operating money and additional advertising brochures.
And that's for them.
In the category that the Historic Society is going to apply for, the money out of the hotel, how many applicants and what is the total amount of money we have to give in that?
It's right there on your sheet,
Oh,
right there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they will be.
So if you gave them the 2 out of community
They're gonna
development,
come out
the
of
6 out of
tourism
here.
and we have 17,000 to give.
14, 15, yeah.
So, I mean, just roughly looking at that, guys, if you gave them 4,000, half of the money out of here, you're basically going to hit that number that we have to spend anyway. So I would tend to believe you give them 4,000 out of this. We still have money left over next meeting to give them money out of that other one, because there's only 3 other applicants. We have 17,000 to spend, so, that'll keep this money down a little bit.
You said include tourism on this or no?
I would take the 1,500 the tourism has been given every year out of this and give it to them again out of this, and then that gets them part of the way, and then when we talk the next meeting, some of that money will go to them as well, so. They're asking for DC tourism, they're asking for 4,600, so if you take 1,500 off, you're only gonna get 3,100. You're gonna make the number look a little bit better.
Okay, so if you give Main Street 50, Mutualer 17.5, Historical Society 8,000, Senior Center 2,000, DC Tourism 1,500, DC 20,000, and then HPC 10,000, you are at 109,000.
I think that's a little low. Look at it. Well, wait a minute.
Low.
Based on, if you just change, if you put 8,000 in for,
Hold on a second. I'll do it.
Well, he decreased the Main Street back down to 50.
okay, I see. Gotcha.
You know, the other thing is if you take the historical piece and on hotel motel and give them 4 community development and 4 on tourism, then they get their 8 and pay all of the senior, or pay all of this tourism at a hotel motel, then you wouldn't have to do anything out of there. And then they both get their money too. Either way,
I'm sorry. I was like.
you're fine.
We go down through them, just starting at the top, if you don't mind. I'll write
Okay.
them down here.
So in Main Street's request, if you remember, or read through it, the reason why they're asking for some additional money, they had a lot of building expenses and stuff that they have on their budget this year, so it's gonna kind of cut that down, as far as their operating money. So that's why they're asking for more, and they're also willing to do the fundraising match again. So the Mutual Center was 10,000 capital expenditures, 7,500.
So you
So
say
you're keeping Main Street at 60, is that right?
Well, that's up to you guys. This is their ask.
Well, I'm just.
Yeah. So they're asking for 60, the Mutual Center 17.5. On the Historical Society, if you gave them 4 out of community development and 4 out of hotel motel, they would get their 8.
Yep.
And that would still allow on the hotel motel enough money to give Hutchings and tourism and Bloomfield Main Street and their remainder, and you would still be under 12.5.
So how much would you give the tourism then on this sheet? Nothing?
Tourism, I wouldn't give any because they're asking for all of it on hotel motel and we could pay for all of it in
Okay.
hotel motel and then it doesn't hit our general
Senior
fund.
citizens would still be 2, and what about DCDC?
That's a,
I like the 20,000 that he said. And we'll join.
20,000 and 10.
And
So there's
HPC
that,
is
what is that only, there's 30, 40,
That'd be
135
113,500.
if you give Main Street 60.
113.5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
we were at 120.
That's the good one. It's over 10.
This sounds good to me if somebody wants to make a motion.
Kind of sounded like one.
It's,
Okay, I'll make a motion that we pay these monies out as Tommy Joe mentioned. Totaling $113,500.
you want me to repeat it, Kyle? You got it?
I'll say that's.
Stay at 110.
That's not bad. I think you might have some money left over here.
Well, yeah.
You don't have to get it all out.
That's true. We could save a little bit. if
And
we have
HPC
something
probably
unusual
won't
come up.
use the full 10,000.
On Main Street, you could do.
Do I have a second on that?
I got a second.
Sorry. John,
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes. Josh,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes,
Jake.
Yes.
Discuss and decide on city helping with spring cleanup. What are you doing there,
Oh,
Doug?
I approached by a couple of people
Knew it was you.
to see, you know me, to see, if we, I think years ago, the city used to go around and pick up some large items, help them get disposed of. Somebody that's been here long, you know, someone asked if we would consider doing that again. For people who need to get rid of an old sofa, but they don't have a pickup, so they can't haul it to Waste Management. And I don't know where we've been the last couple of years on picking up big stuff.
So Waste Management quit doing that. And,
Oh. They quit accepting those things?
And-
No, you
No.
get a punch card.
that's what the
Yeah, I
punch
got
card
it.
is for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So,
Waste Management used to pick up one
Used
item
to
per
pick-
week and now
so
they
then
won't.
that's when they went to, you can put one big item out. But now this new contracts are saying no big
And
items
some
at
people
all.
still do that.
You get a
They're
punch
not,
card.
they're not aware of that, and that's why we see sofas and stuff out on the street for a week or two sometimes. They're not aware that Waste Management made a change, which forced us to make a change.
I think a little of both. There's a lot of people that are aware of it, still put them out. I hope somebody just helps themselves.
Never hurts to try.
Yeah, can't hurt to try. But yeah,
Um,
Jeff might be having business.
So the council may not have any interest in doing that, but along with that, I would like to make mention, if I read the article correctly, in the newspaper where when Jeff starts cracking down on these terrible car situation we have in this town with cars parked everywhere, including on the street, Pipers and Spillmans will come to your address and pick up a car, pay you immediately and haul the car away. Now, that's what I believe.
I
the
talked to
newspaper
Bruce,
said.
I talked to Bruce and that Eric Piper.
And we should give them a huge thank you if they're gonna do that, because that should help us clean up some of these cars and trucks. And I'm telling you, folks, if you walk around this town, you ride a bicycle, there's a lot of there vehicles sitting around in a lot of houses, and it looks really bad.
Every other hand.
So we owe them a big thanks for supporting that.
So is there anything to do on that one or you're?
No, if you can, I didn't realize that Waste Management made that change. So I told the couple individuals I'm bringing up to the council meeting.
I mean, we could ask the city to pick it all up and I could take out one of my 5,000 punch cards that I just put it, you know.
Well, the truth of the matter is, I guess, if my neighbor's a widow lady and she doesn't have a truck and she needs to get rid of a sofa, I can haul it out there and give my punch card.
You
Or use
can.
hers.
So.
And I-
Or hers,
if we-
yeah, or hers.
If we do that, then I think the problem may be
Okay.
not as big as I first thought it might be. So
Okay.
I don't request any action on that.
All right.
I don't think it would hurt for management to talk to Waste Management and say, hey, if we do a cleanup, will you take those items at no charge to the city for us to clean things up? Which they probably won't do. But it's not worth it. It's worth asking the question.
Yeah.
I'm not the right person to ask them.
Sand punch cards and when people come, they can.
My thought was if we're gonna make the town look better, we gotta get off our fannies and do something about it.
Approve getting bids for planting 15 to 20 acres of beans at Lake Fisher to prepare native prayer.
So-
I'm ill prepared on this, and I didn't know it was on the agenda. Dave talked to Coffee Joe about it. It's not really about going out to bid to plant the beans, it's going out to rent the ground out for a 2-year lease. And then the stipulations would be that they would have to farm it, no-till in beans for 2 years. And then that would get us the base that we need.
That helps the prairie grass or whatever.
And then that would give you a chance to make some money on the ground that you aren't making any money on. So I guess we're looking to move forward with that, to get with Gayla what we need to do for the lease and then our stipulations in it that we need. And maybe still give somebody an opportunity to jump on it this year.
Motion to approve, letting you do what's necessary to get that operation going.
Earl?
Yep.
Josh?
Yes.
Jake? Don?
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes.
Approve order of 2 budgeted squad cars not to exceed $127,034 total, with one being paid for fiscal year 24, $63,517, and one being paid for fiscal year 25, $63,517.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you got it?
I can.
Go ahead.
Okay. We have, obviously it says budgeted, so we have budgeted for a squad car this year and for next year. I called the same outfit that we used last time in Nashville. That's gonna be the cheapest by far. It's 4 to 6 months, for a squad car right now. So plan is, pay for one right now, pay up front for it. And then after July rolls over, pay for the other one, probably save, we probably won't get even the first one until after July 1st. We can save on shipping and they'll ship them both to our front door. This is.
We don't have to go get these, that
No,
you
they're
work
gonna-
the shipping and.
We're gonna drop them off.
Okay.
Hopefully they're the right color. But I mean, 2 years ago, it just shows how much, we got them for like 109,000. We got 2 of them 2 years ago. And now it's up to 127. So prices aren't gonna get any cheaper. After we get these 2, we'll really only have one that's kind of older, and that's my car. We should be in decent shape. Maybe the following year get one, and we can probably actually take a couple years off, from maybe even ordering some. So that's the plan. It's all budgeted. Just need your approval for me to order both of them at the same time. Pay for one now, pay for one July 1st.
So tell me, Joe, what happens to the older ones?
We sell them.
Yep, they sell them, so we'll have that in cut. And
One of them
then,
we might call Spillman, but,
there is also an insurance claim on one of them that we will get refunded insurance money because we had hail damage and stuff on it, but, so, yeah, we'll.
So we get some money back.
Well,
we auction
yeah,
them
well-
off.
When we sold the horses on Purple Way, we got, in my opinion, more than they were worth by a lot. Yeah.
But
And we'll probably have to sell them, we'll sell them probably with a cage and everything in them this time because the new models, the cages don't fit. So they always do that to us about every 4 or 5 years, change the specs on them. So they'll probably be worth even more. We don't have any use for the older, equipment. We'll keep the radios, keep the radars, we'll swap those over. So that's an expense that we see up there. We just gotta, put it in.
So we'll auction those two plus the insurance money to offset hopefully a half or more of just one car.
I make a motion, we approve item 6J.
Second,
Jake,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Carl,
yes.
Jennifer, yes, Tom,
Yes.
Approve resolution amending fiscal year 25 police department salary.
Okay, so, after we approved last week the $1.35 rate increase, instead of going to the $1.69, Cindy Kendall and I went back, we ran some numbers and we talked through what can we do in our general fund to eliminate about $20,000, which is the amount of the difference between the $1.35 and raising it to $1.69. One of the ideas that I had came up with and talked with the mayor and Zach about was, what if we don't hire and fill that last police officer position that we have? What if we tried to bump up the salaries closer to what the county's paying their deputies, since they do work within the same building? So I took what the county salaries are gonna be and then what our salaries are gonna be. So we had approved to go up $1 from $28 to $29. This group has been doing and running on 5, obviously since about 2020. So Zach got a little creative with the schedule and we created the new work schedule for them so that we can help retain them and run on 5 where everybody would get every other weekend off. And we could only pay overtime after 80 hours now instead of after 40. So that would help save some money. I did not calculate that number, but what I did was I'm proposing that we increase Zach an additional $2,500 to 80. So he's still going to be about 5,000 less than our sheriff. And then Trent, Jacob, Andrew, and Jared would go from 28 to 31. They're still going to be about $1.70 less an hour than the other sheriff deputies for the county. So we would be able to get them a little closer to the guys in the back door. I ran the FICA, the IPERS, and obviously we wouldn't have to pay family insurance for the new person that we would not hire. And we don't have a car for the new person. So not counting the car that we would have to buy, which as you just saw was about 60,000, or share a car depending on what the schedule looked like, we would save 81,000 by not filling that last police officer position. So I'm proposing, we're trying to look to cut 20. I'm proposing that we give some more money to get them caught up more to what the county's paying, to try to help also retain them and not have to keep looking for quality candidates. And then even though they're still going to be, a couple dollars an hour less than the county, I think it would be a good gesture. We did ask Zach to go and have a conversation with the officers to make sure that they understand, the schedule's not gonna be changing other than what we just did. And they've been doing it a couple weeks, it sounds like, and we're having positive feedback with them as far as they were working 10-hour days and now they're working 12. It's really not as much of a change. And it's kind of nice to have a couple more days. So I'm asking the council to allow me to, like I said, I already ran the numbers and put this in the budget. And actually what would be happening is I would deduct from the salary line and the FICA and IPERS and insurance that was already in that 12 million. I would deduct it about 82,500 if we don't fill that position.
And do we pay overtime?
After 80,
After 80.
after 80 instead of 40. With
They would pay
adopting
40.
this.
That's 80 hours and how long?
2 weeks.
Oh,
It's essentially the same, but
Yeah.
we work 44 hours in 1 week and then 36 on the next.
Yeah.
We had to switch it up, so it's 80 hours, but instead of paying 4 hours,
But no overtime involved in that.
no, there's no overtime because we switched it to.
But
I
I,
don't know what the mathematical difference between 40 and 80 would be if it's by 2 weeks. 40 would just be by a week though.
Well, because they were getting overtime depending on their schedule. A lot of them might work 44 in one week. We'd have to pay them overtime. And then the next week they might pay 40. If we can cut it the following week to 36, then they won't have any overtime at all.
Level it out.
So, but I do figure 10% overtime already in these numbers. So I'm already figuring 10% overtime on everybody and still saving 81,000, 82,000.
So the way we were doing our schedule, when we were working tens, it was Mondays, we had 5 hours that weren't covered, so we had to have overtime every week, which came out to about $8,000 a year. So we're
Right.
cutting that with the new schedule. Everybody gets every other weekend off. Like she said, 2 weeks in.
Kind of like Cargill, 3 on, 2 off, 3
Yeah.
on, or 2 on, 3 off. It just, and that works out
I
every other
understand it
weekend.
now. Yeah, okay.
Is
Yeah.
that 81,000 before or after bumping up the salary?
After.
So that includes bumping them up to that, those new salary. Okay.
Yeah. So we could still bump them up and we would still save an additional 82,000 plus the car and the wellness. I didn't even count the wellness and different stuff that we do for them. I just did salary, FICA, IPERS, and insurance. That's all I did. Yeah. So, you know, I do want to stress that they have been running on this since about 2020 and they've been doing it all along. So I was confident they could continue to do it without too much stress.
Motion to approve resolution amending the fiscal year 25 police department salaries.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Public comments tonight? Okay. Let me go.
The only thing I have is I left a packet there for you guys to take home and study for the next couple weeks. We will be dispersing hotel motel money next meeting. And I put the request and all the supporting documentation behind it. So you can kind of go through it and see what everybody's requesting and maybe come with a plan or a pencil in what you want to propose. On that spreadsheet, I also put in red how much we have to do for each category. And I tried to put them in order with your packet so you could just kind of go down through that and hopefully it's easy to understand. If you have questions, just give me a call.
Trustee? Just real quick, couple things. Was able to get almost everybody CPR certified this week. Jim helped us out with that in the hospital. And so he is going to put on a second course I think we had 5 people that wasn't able to be there. So we'll get everybody CPR certified. We're going to talk with Zach and we're going to have AEDs installed at all the city buildings. They got new ones, so we're going to pick up their old ones and get them updated. So we will have those on site, and that'll be nice to have. About the only other thing, we're going to get into some pothole, and we got quite a bit of potholes coming out of the winter season, so we'll get on them tomorrow and next week and see if we can't finish some of the streets that way. Thank you.
Tammy?
The only thing I have is, the behind the scenes work with the sidewalks. We have most of the easements and maintenance agreements back. I have 3 building owners that I need to get one or the other back for, and 1 building owner that is, we need both of them for, but the behind the scenes work is just about done. All the coal streets that are going to be filled are already to Matt. So he has that number for it to go on the bid. So some of that pre-work is wrapping up. Should be done by the next council meeting.
Thank you. Council update?
I attended a library meeting a couple days ago. There's more information coming out about this, but there's 2 authors talking about coming to the library here and discussing current books that they're writing. One of them is about meat lockers of Iowa. The other one I'm extremely interested in. I did not realize that an airliner was detonated over Lake Wapello in 1962. And yeah, so I would like to learn more about that. So it was interesting, very interesting.
Any other council updates? I do not have any updates.
Adjourn.
Second.
Earl,
Yeah.
Don,